If you've been researching neighborhoods around Tampa Bay, then your browser history probably looks familiar. Hyde Park, Davis Island, downtown St. Pete, downtown Tampa, and those places deserve the attention they receive, but they represent only a small part of Tampa Bay. When every article and relocation video keeps recommending the same locations, buyers can miss areas that may fit their lifestyle better. A well-known zip code does not guarantee that you will enjoy living there. The right choice depends on what you want your average Tuesday to look like. Maybe you want to walk to dinner without living in downtown. Maybe you care more about mature trees and established homes than new construction. You might want waterfront access, local personality, or a town that gives you something to do after the moving boxes disappear. Hey, I'm Alyssa. I live in Tampa and help people relocate here every day. And on this channel, I share what it's really like to live in Tampa Bay. If you enjoy videos like this, then hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. So after helping people relocate here for years, I keep recommending several places that rarely receive enough attention. Some are quiet, others are quirky, and one will probably make you question my judgment. But let's start with an area that feels like it has protected its personality while everything around it kept growing. Safety Harbor is one of the most overlooked places in Tampa Bay. The easiest way to describe it is a small piece of old Florida that somehow held on to its identity. Life moves at a slower pace, the downtown feels genuinely local, and the waterfront is woven into the community rather than treated like a tourist attraction. Rows of national chains are not the main event here. Locally owned restaurants, coffee shops, small businesses, and community gatherings give the town its character. You also cannot understand Safety Harbor from the driver's seat. Park downtown and walk around before deciding whether it belongs on your list. Grab coffee at Haven House Coffee, browse the shops, head toward the marina, and give yourself enough time to see how the town actually functions. Whistle Stop Cafe is one of my favorite places for lunch. Order the fried green tomatoes, they're so good. And when the afternoon turns into dinner, Barfly has some of my favorite tuna nachos anywhere around Tampa Bay. There is also more happening here than many buyers expect from a town this size. Philippi Park gives you a beautiful place to walk along the water, while Third Friday brings live music, local vendors, and a crowd that feels more like neighbors enjoying their town than tourists checking off another event. The location works well for people who want access without living in the middle of everything. Tampa International Airport is about 20 to 30 minutes away. Downtown Tampa is roughly 30 to 45 minutes, and Clearwater is only a few minutes down the road. That convenience does come with a specific lifestyle. Anyone searching for major nightlife, endless new construction, or a master planned community packed with resort amenities should probably look elsewhere. Safety Harbor fits the person whose ideal Saturday includes local coffee, a waterfront walk, an independent restaurant, and a downtown that still belongs to the people living around it. The next area offers a completely different kind of convenience. Instead of an old Florida town, this is a walkable village tucked inside one of Tampa's best-known planned communities. Most people recognize West Chase for its golf course, schools, amenities, and established suburban reputation. West Park Village is the part that gives it more personality. Many suburban neighborhoods require you to get in the car for every coffee, dinner, errand, or social plan. Here, restaurants, businesses, residences, and community spaces sit close enough together that walking can become a part of your routine. That difference sounds small until you live somewhere without it. Throughout the year, farmers markets, outdoor concerts, movies in the park, holiday celebrations, and other neighborhood events give residents a reason to leave the house and enjoy the community they're paying to live in. Personally, I would be drawn to one of the townhomes in West Park Village. I could walk to the grind for coffee, head to Doodle Noodle for dinner, and make my way through the farmers market without starting a negotiation over a parking spot. From a practical standpoint, the location is difficult to argue with. Tampa International is about 20 minutes away, downtown Tampa is about 30 minutes away, and Clearwater Beach is also around half an hour, depending on traffic. You can reach the city, the airport, or the coast without planting yourself directly inside any of them. West Park Village will not work for someone dreaming about 5 acres, complete privacy, and neighbors who require binoculars to see. Buyers who want to walk to dinner or recognize people at the coffee shop and use their neighborhood beyond the driveway should take a closer look. Now we are crossing the bay for a place that refuses to blend in. Some people love Gulfport almost immediately, while others spend 10 minutes there and know they would never want to live there. Both reactions make sense. Gulfport has its own personality, and it has made absolutely zero effort to apologize for it. People often compare it with downtown St. Pete because the two are close together, but that comparison really misses what makes Gulfport interesting. Downtown St. Pete feels larger, busier, and more polished, while Gulfport is smaller, more local, and noticeably more eclectic. Once again, this is not an area you should judge through a windshield. Park the car and start walking. Art galleries, locally owned shops, outdoor restaurants, and the marina all sit within a few blocks. You can arrive without a plan and somehow lose half a day, which is part of the appeal. The Tuesday Fresh Market gives you another reason to explore downtown, and the Gecko Fest may be one of the most distinctive festivals in Tampa Bay, and live music regularly spills into the local scene. Housing is every bit as varied as the community. Cottages sit near bungalows, ranch homes appear beside condos, waterfront properties share the market with lovingly restored houses, and projects still waiting for someone with imagination, patience, and probably a contractor on speed dial. Nothing feels manufactured here, and that lack of uniformity draws some buyers in and sends others straight back to their saved listings. You're about 10 minutes from downtown St. Pete, around 15 minutes from St. Pete Beach, and roughly 35 to 40 minutes from downtown Tampa when traffic wants to cooperate. Gulfport is not a universal recommendation, and honestly, it really shouldn't be. A buyer looking for perfect rows of new homes, tightly controlled aesthetics, and a predictable planned community experience will probably be happier somewhere else. Someone who values art, independent businesses, unusual homes, and a neighborhood with stories built into it may fall hard for Gulfport. If that feels a little too unconventional, the next area offers almost the opposite experience. Carrollwood is familiar, established, and far more versatile than people give it credit for, and Carrollwood also quietly does a lot of things well. Variety is one of its biggest advantages, with some neighborhoods look like they were completed by one builder during the same lunch break, but Carrollwood grew differently. You'll find condos, townhomes, ranch homes from the 60s and 70s, lakefront properties, golf course homes, and custom residences throughout the area. Each pocket has its own feel, which means you need to look beyond the neighborhood name and pay attention to the specific streets. What stands out most to me is the sense of familiarity. Mature trees frame the roads, older homes bring character, and the overall setting reminds me of growing up when every bike somehow ended up in one driveway because everyone is gathered at the same house. The world definitely has changed since then, but Carrollwood can still give you a little bit of that feeling. Whenever I'm nearby, I usually stop at the Perfect Press for coffee, and Piccolo Buco has also become one of my favorite Italian restaurants in Tampa Bay. Save room for the tiramisu because ignoring that advice would be a personal decision I can't support. Location adds another layer to the appeal. Downtown, the airport, shopping, restaurants, and major roads are accessible without making you feel like you live in the center of Tampa's busiest activity. Carrollwood lacks the concentrated walkability of Dunedin or Safety Harbor, but what you gain is mature landscaping, housing variety, larger established neighborhoods, and more opportunities to find a home that does not look exactly like the one next door. Move-up buyers who want space and character without disappearing into the outer suburbs should keep it on the list. Older homes also define our next location, but the setting is much closer to downtown Tampa. Riverside Heights remains overshadowed by a neighbor that receives most of the publicity. Tampa Heights gets the headlines, Armature Works attracts the crowds, Waterworks Park and the Riverwalk receive plenty of attention, while development throughout the area has turned Tampa Heights into one of the city's most recognizable urban neighborhoods. But right next door, Riverside Heights continues to fly under the radar. The location gives you easy access to many of the same attractions, Armature Works, downtown Tampa, Waterworks Park, the Riverwalk, local breweries, and restaurants are only a few minutes away. Once you enter the residential streets though, the atmosphere becomes noticeably quieter. That combination is harder to find than buyers expect. You can enjoy the activity nearby without placing your home directly inside it. The housing also gives Riverside Heights a distinct identity. Historic bungalows, older ranch homes, and properties with original architectural details create streets where individual homes still have some personality. I've always preferred an older house with character over a new build that looks like it came with 3 identical backups. Riverside Heights is still evolving. Restored homes can sit beside properties that need someone willing to take on a serious project. That momentum creates opportunity, but it also means you need to evaluate the neighborhood street by street rather than assuming every pocket will feel the same. Buyers who want a perfectly finished community may find the variation frustrating. Anyone searching for central access, older architecture, and a residential setting near downtown should drive to Riverside Heights before paying a premium simply because Tampa Heights has the more recognizable name. Before we head to the next area, I want to save you some time if you're planning a move from outside Tampa Bay. Comparing neighborhoods, commute patterns, schools, housing details, and daily convenience from another state can become overwhelming very quickly. I created a free Tampa Bay relocation guide to help you organize that research, and you can download it through the link below. Our next stop is one I regularly recommend to people who begin their search with Clearwater. Quite often though, they end up liking Dunedin much better. Clearwater and Dunedin sit only a few minutes apart, but they deliver completely different experiences. Clearwater is where I would go for a beach day, where Dunedin is where I would go when I want to spend the entire day exploring. Downtown is highly walkable, and seeing people move around by bike or golf cart is completely normal. The area feels built around the people living there instead of visitors arriving for the weekend. Dunedin Brewery is Florida's oldest microbrewery and has been a part of the downtown for decades. Saunders Social Club is one of my favorite cocktail spots, and around Christmas time, it becomes Santa Social Club, which may be the closest I get to behaving festive instead of spooky. Then you have the Fenway Hotel. Even if you're not staying there, the rooftop is worth visiting. Grab a drink, watch the sunset over St. Joseph Sound, and the appeal of living nearby becomes easy to understand. Outdoor access is another major strength. The Pinellas Trail runs directly through downtown. Waterfront parks, the marina, and Honeymoon Island make walking, biking, kayaking, or having dinner outside feel like a part of normal life instead of an activity requiring a full itinerary. That lifestyle is especially attractive for active empty nesters who want more freedom in how they spend their days. Housing varies throughout the city. Cottages, bungalows, ranch homes, condos, and newer properties reflect how Dunedin developed over time rather than appearing all at once. The trade-off is commute distance. Someone driving into Tampa every weekday needs to think carefully about traffic and travel time. Buyers with flexible schedules, remote work, or a stronger preference for coastal living may find the location well worth it. Given the choice between Clearwater and Dunedin, I would choose Dunedin almost every time. Clearwater works beautifully as a destination where Dunedin feels more like a hometown. We have reached the final area, and this one will probably create the most disagreement, but hear me out before you close the video. Ybor City carries a reputation that often comes from one late Saturday night, a story someone heard years ago, or an opinion from a person who has not explored it recently. That version of Ybor does exist, but it is only one part of the neighborhood. The history keeps pulling me back. Old cigar factories, brick streets, distinctive architecture, independent restaurants, local coffee shops, and historic buildings make Ybor feel connected to Tampa's past in a way few other areas can match. Jose Marti Park is one of my favorite examples. Many people pass it without realizing the land belongs to the Republic of Cuba. Standing inside that small park technically places you on Cuban soil without needing a passport or explaining anything to airport security. Housing brings another reason to pay attention. Ybor contains historic bungalows and older homes that have been thoughtfully restored, along with properties still waiting for someone willing to take on the work. My preference is no secret. Give me an older bungalow with original details over a generic new build any day. And what makes Ybor especially interesting right now is not limited to nightlife or history. Gasworks is reshaping the area between Ybor and downtown. Water Street continues growing nearby, while the Tico Line streetcar connects Ybor with the Channel District and downtown Tampa without requiring you to drive. New businesses and restaurants keep opening as the surrounding area changes. Nobody can promise exactly what Ybor will look like 5 years from now. Real estate would be considerably easier if we could order certainty online. But still, when buyers ask which Tampa neighborhood I'm watching closely, Ybor belongs near the top of the conversation. What does not mean I recommend it to everyone. Noise, nightlife development, block by block differences, and the condition of surrounding properties all require careful consideration. Ybor is best suited to someone who values history, architecture, urban access, and a neighborhood that refuses to look like anywhere else. I hope it never becomes universally appealing because losing the personality would defeat the entire point. An underrated area is not automatically cheap, undiscovered, or perfect. It is simply a place that deserves more consideration than it usually receives. Safety Harbor gives you local charm and waterfront access. West Park Village combines suburban convenience with walkability. Gulfport delivers art, individuality, and a strong community identity. Carrollwood offers established streets and usually broad housing variety. Riverside Heights places you near downtown without putting you directly inside the activity. Dunedin creates a coastal hometown lifestyle. Ybor brings history, architecture, and long-term change into the same conversation. Your best option depends on how you spend your days, what you want nearby, where you need to commute, and how much predictability you expect from the neighborhood around you. Did I leave off an area that deserves more attention? Share your pick in the comments because I'm always looking for another excuse to explore a part of Tampa Bay I've not spent enough time in lately. Subscribe for more honest videos about Tampa Bay neighborhoods, relocation, and what living here actually feels like. When you're ready to narrow down your search, you can download my relocation guide or use the contact information below to schedule a one-on-one call with me.